hardest part about planning a wedding is definitely picking the venue, and if you're having a destination wedding, that is just so much harder. So let me show you what my husband and I did, because I think making this list definitely helped us narrow down which venue and location was going to be the right fit for us. The first thing that we looked at was tropical and warm during February and March. Unfortunately, we live in the northern hemisphere, so that's winter in most locations. So we were looking at Canary Islands, we were looking at Mexico, we were looking at like the Caribbean islands, and that helped us locate where we were wanting to have the wedding. The next thing that we wanted was to make sure that the location didn't require you to have a car. I personally think that driving in another country can be stressful, so I didn't want to put that onto our guests. We had people coming from all over the world, so we needed to make sure that this venue location was close to a good international airport that had a lot of flights coming in and out to various parts of the world. So all of those things helped us figure out our location. We ended up doing it in Tulum. It wasn't the closest to an international airport, but we liked once you were in Tulum, you could easily walk around and have so many things at your fingertips to do. Now for the venue, our biggest thing was that it had to be private for our guests for the whole weekend. Mexico is filled with so many all-inclusives that do weddings, but they also have like thousands of guests at the hotel. We did not want to be a part of that. We wanted our venue to just be us. Now Mexico also has a lot of Airbnbs, but the Airbnbs kind of cater for that like super micro wedding between 15 and 20 people. We wanted to make sure that our venue had at least room for 80 people. If you've ever been to Tulum, the area kind of has 3 main neighborhoods, and besides that, you're kind of just left in the jungle area. We wanted to make sure that our venue was in one of those main 3 hubs, so people had the option to walk and explore easily, and again, didn't need a car or a taxi. Our dream was to have a venue that fit all of our guests, but if it couldn't be that big, then we at least wanted 14 rooms for our friends and our bridal party. I keep mentioning this, but it's really important to have your venue next to a place that has other options for people to do. We didn't want it to be on us to make sure everybody had every single meal all the time, and a lot of venues are like that. They're so far out in the distance and wherever, and you have to provide the food for everybody who's staying there, and that's a lot of headache and a lot to worry about. So we wanted to make sure that there were restaurants and things that people could just walk and go and explore, and we didn't have to worry about it. Now in Tulum, you're guaranteed to either have access to a pool or access to a beach. We wanted both. Now, I love tropical things and I absolutely love the beach, but I did not want to get married on the beach. For me, beach weddings are so unpredictable. I feel like 70% of the time they're extremely windy. I absolutely hate when wind is like coming into your ears and all you can hear is that sound. I did not want any of that. So I wanted to get married in a jungle area on a beach. Unfortunately, my husband and I do not make enough money to cover the hotel nightly costs for all of our guests, so we needed to make sure that the hotel options were between the $150 and $300 a night mark. We knew that this nightly cost would be something that our guests would feel comfortable with. And lastly, I love color, I love Art Deco, postmodern, Miami, Palm Spring vibes. That was my dream, to find a venue that played into those things so I didn't have to do too much to make it my aesthetic. We ended up getting married at Casa Violeta in Tulum, Mexico, and it was absolutely perfect. Casa Violeta is a boutique hotel right on the beach, and it had enough rooms for all of our friends and our bridal party, and so many hotels close by for everybody else who weren't able to stay at the venue with us. The venue was private for us for the whole entire weekend, and all of the guests who were staying off-site at another hotel were able to come at any time to Casa Violeta and use their amenities. The hotel was beachfront and had amazing rates for it being high season in Tulum. And it had a jungle area, which is where we got married, because I did not want to get married on the beach. And the icing on the cake is that the hotel manager, Guillaume Perro, was the nicest man to work with. He had great communication, he was so organized, and he just treated us like family. So now the things that we had to compromise on, the first one being Tulum is about 2.5 hours from Cancun's major international airport, so it was a journey to get to the location after you already took a long flight. The second thing, Casa Violeta didn't have a pool. It was beachfront and it was beautiful, but sometimes you just want to hop in a pool instead of in the ocean. And 3, decor. It had a very rustic boho vibe to it, and that is not necessarily me. There were pockets of the hotel that did feel like me, but I did feel like I had to bring a lot, and I really wanted to elevate the decor to make it feel more on brand with my colorful Art Deco Palm Springs vibe. So if you're a bride-to-be and you want to plan a destination wedding, save this and come back to it and think through all of those pieces before choosing your location and your venue.